What is an addiction that nobody really takes seriously enough? Jim Carrey said it perfectly. Solitude is dangerous. It's very addictive. It becomes a habit after you realize how peaceful and calm it is. It's like you don't want to deal with people anymore because they drain your energy. I've actually been talking to my therapist about it, and the way I phrased it is that I'm always feeling lonely and kind of complaining about it. But she keeps encouraging me to branch out and do stuff. I get the intent, but part of me still thinks, but I don't want to. It's so self-perpetuating. It's so draining, but it's also so nice to be myself alone. Sometimes I have this, oh, this isn't that bad moment whenever I'm hanging out with friends in real life or online too. This happened to me during the pandemic lockdowns. We were locked down and went remote from the end of 9th grade through 10th grade. I didn't have much social life in the first place, but then going remote and not having to deal with other people for so long was really nice, and I enjoyed it a lot. But then we went back to in-person school, and I no longer knew how to interact with other people at all. I'm graduating this year and have still not recovered my social skills and have less of a social life than I had before. I haven't hung out with anyone or texted anyone since before the pandemic, and I don't really know how to start. Part of this is due to having Asperger's, so socializing was always kind of difficult. But the extended period of solitude during the lockdowns completely erased any semblance of social skills I once may have had. This is legitimately concerning for me, and I'm so glad that you posted this. I love my time to myself, and I'd be the happiest lass in the land if I could spend the rest of my life with just my other half and our pets. But I know that one day this will probably come back to kick me in the butt, and I'll wind up a lonely old lady who's too depressed by my loneliness to do anything about it. What would I do if my other half died tomorrow? I try to be mindful of this and think about how I can prevent that. God, socializing is freaking draining. I feel these people, man. I don't think it necessarily means something is wrong with you though. I'm an introvert, and in psychology introverts are known to have what they call a social battery that drains the more you have to socialize with people. Extroverts are the opposite. Their social battery actually fills up the more they interact with other people in social settings. Attention. And it can manifest in so many ways, especially with social media being such a big part of everyday life. I have a TikTok account with over 100 million views and a few 100,000 followers, and let me tell you, those first couple months I was helplessly addicted to checking the number of views I got. I'm not exaggerating. I would check over 100 times a day. It was ruining other things for me by being a constant distraction in my head, and the disappointment I felt when new videos wouldn't get shared was crushing. Ultimately, I quit a year ago, but man, that was a horrible addiction for me. Dude, this is such a good answer. Social media can be such an insane addiction because of the dopamine rush you get from watching those short videos. Once you finish one, you have to watch another one to get the same effect, but the effect isn't quite as strong as your first video. Then, you just end up doom scrolling, searching for the intensity of those first dopamine rushes you used to get, but they never come. Same thing happens with views also. Seeing that people love your stuff is an addictive feeling. So when the views go down or a video isn't perceived as well as usual, you legitimately get depressed, and it can ruin your day. It's a crazy cycle of searching for the adrenaline and dopamine rush that will never be satiated. Sugar. Damn, I was really bad with sugar in my coffee and soda. Now I just put flavored coffee syrup in to sweeten it, and I have it down to 1 or 2 cans of soda a week. Chugging a lot of water regularly really helped. You crave it less when you're hydrated and thinking more clearly. I also have an apple or fruit if I get a proper craving and need something sweet. It's still sugar, but I'm less likely to eat a bushel of fruit. Man, I don't know why I'm so low on energy today. I think I need another Red Bull. No, you need freaking water. It's the same for coffee. Still feeling sluggish after drinking coffee? Drink freaking water instead, not more coffee. But coffee is like 99% water. Sounds like it's just another ploy by Big Water to get us to consume more. No thanks. In all seriousness though, I had a doctor tell me that coffee counts as water. It is a diuretic, but apparently it's not strong enough to counter the water content, so I'm taking that and running with it for the rest of my life. I read something somewhere which suggested that while caffeine is a diuretic, the amount present in typical coffee and tea is low enough that you still get a net gain in water intake. So for example, a 12-ounce coffee provides a net gain of 10 ounces of water. So it seems your doctor supports my random reading. I'm so glad I never really became addicted to soda. I think a big part of that is because I always saw my stepdad come home from work and he would literally pull out a 2-liter of Coke and drink straight from the bottle. He did this every night. So for some reason my kid brain was like, well, that clearly can't be very healthy. Then he went through a phase a bit later where he quit, and I remember it being a huge struggle for him. He quit drinking soda and smoking every day at the same time. So mad respect to him. That had to be a nightmare. For the coffee, I've never heard that it's bad for you. Some people think it dehydrates you, but from what I've read and been told, it's infinitely better than those high-sugar energy drinks. Almost all of the coffee is made up of water, so I don't really know how that can possibly be bad for you. Phone addiction. I just went 2 weeks with my phone in the shop because I shattered the screen, and honestly, it was freaking bliss. I looked into getting a landline recently and was pretty horrified to discover how difficult it is to do so, and how rare the service even is these days. Phone addiction and the new craze of watching 7,000 videos that are only about 20 seconds long as a form of entertainment. No freaking wonder so many people have attention deficit disorder. Totally agree here. Something I've noticed that forces you to not use your phone so much is to go camping, especially in places where service is shoddy. It's like you're forced to interact with your family and people more. And after a day or two, you realize how much happier you are, and for me, personally, way less brain fog. Self-deprecation. It starts as just jokes to break the ice in social situations. Then, it becomes a form of sarcasm ingrained into your everyday speech. Then, it becomes a true depiction of how you see yourself, and it spirals into depression. The cool thing is you can do it in reverse. I had crappy self-esteem, but I joked about being a hotshot long enough that I started believing it just a little bit. Just enough. Came here to say this. Literally just say you are the best in the entire world in a sarcastic, joking way, and it has the same comedic value without damaging your mental health or pushing it so far that it becomes awkward. I started doing this too. It took a little while, probably a couple years honestly, but that's undoing like 10 years of self-depreciating. And as of the past couple months, I feel so damn good about myself and my life. Even if things aren't perfect, I don't care because I love myself. I highly, highly recommend this tip. I actually totally understand why people do this. It is a trick you can use to make it so that people kind of feel sorry for you, and then they'll end up complimenting you. There's an entire The Office scene where Michael makes fun of himself, and it works for a little bit until he takes it too far, and it just becomes incredibly awkward. I was never able to do this, because after just one statement of making fun of myself, I noticed the negative effects. I'll just let other people make fun of me, and then I'll make fun of them instead. Seems to work fine for me. Staying up late for no apparent reason. It's taking a serious toll on my mental health, and yet I can't seem to stop. Maybe my circadian rhythm is completely fricked, but it seems like I do this completely by choice. Revenge bedtime procrastination is what it's called. It's when a person feels emotionally exhausted and they have not had enough time for themselves or to care for themselves. They will often stay up late to get this time. But this unintentionally exacerbates the problem due to lack of sleep. It is nice to know my issues at least have a name. I wake up with my daughter at 7 in the morning to take care of her right up until our babysitter gets here at 1 in the afternoon. Then I work straight through until 10 at night. That's when I get to spend 45 minutes with my wife. Then I know I need to go to sleep pretty much right when she does, if I want a chance to be well rested. But instead, I stay up because I have lost all sense of self and am clearly struggling with life. But no one really cares, and I have to keep trying for my daughter. I thought life was supposed to be better than this. I think I know why people do this. Similar to like what the second commenter said, it's almost like nighttime becomes the only period of time in your day where you feel free from all of your responsibilities. And you don't want that feeling to go away, so you stay up to enjoy that time. Then you wake up feeling like crap and the cycle continues. I was like this in university, so I understand the struggle, although it is easier to recover from lack of sleep when you're younger. The only way to break the cycle is to make significant changes in your life, so it's not an easy thing to stop.